Stu Armstrong with interviews that pack a punch.
Hi and welcome to Radio Northumberland. My name's Stu Armstrong and this is the Stu Armstrong Interviews, where on each show I interview Pack a Punch. My background, as you may know, is that of the author of the Diaries of a Doorman series of books and the patron of the charity Choose Lives Not Knives. My guest this week is former cruiserweight champion of the world and current BKB world champion, all the way from the USA. It's Bobby Gunn. Hi Bobby. I'm
doing real good, Stu, and thank you for having me on to your show. You're a total class act, and everything you're doing for all the combat sports is amazing.
That's great of you to say. It's lovely to have you on. We do talk quite a bit, Twitter and things like that. It's nice to actually get the chance to speak to you properly.
Thank you.
I've got a couple of hellos that I've been forced to say. First of all, a good friend of mine, Joe Smith-Brown, a.k.a. Joe B. Bad. He wanted us to pass on his best wishes.
Thanks, Joe's a good man. I love Joe.
He is. And also Steve Miller as well. He asked us to pass on his best as well.
Big Miller, he's my buddy. Yep, he's my buddy.
Crackers, but he's great. He's one of my friends as well. So, Bobby, you're currently a BKB world champion, sanctioned by Scott Burt from the BKB Hall of Fame. First world champion since John L. Sullivan over 100 years ago. That's quite an achievement. How does that feel?
Well, it's amazing. A lot of people... You got a few minutes, I'll explain to you a few things. I'll tell you how this all started. Understand something. All my life, I fought underground bare-knuckle fights. In America, they have this called the underground circuit.
Yeah.
It's underground. And for 11 years, I was champion over here. And I always fought, I fought regular world championship fights. I fought the best fighters in the world, you know what I mean? And I always maintained my bare-knuckle world, too.
Yeah.
At the same time. In 2011, Dave Feldman, the president of BKF, and myself, we said, listen, there's the Navajo Boxing Commission in Scottsdale, Arizona. They sanction world championship fights there and regular pro box all the time. They're willing to make a bold move here. And let's make this a regular championship fight.
Yeah.
I said, no, how's a championship fight? You're fighting a fighter. Now, understand something. At the time, Richard Stewart I fought, who's also a notorious underground fighter.
Yeah.
And this is going back about 5 years now. You have to understand. Richard Stewart was fighting for, at the time, his record was like 14-8. You know, he's a journeyman gatekeeper fighter, fought Randy Cash, who fought for the world title. And he said, fight a fighter called Richard Stewart.
Yeah.
I said, okay. He goes into the fight. The great historian, God rest his soul, Burt Randolph Sugar, which if you're boxing, anybody knows who that is. You know, God rest his guy 2 years ago. He called me on the phone and he said to me, "You understand that this is amazing what's happened?" I said, "I really don't know." He said, "It's the first sanctioned event that's ever been done, and if by rights, if you win this fight and you're victorious, you win the linear bare-knuckle heavyweight championship."
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I at the time, I didn't really pay much attention to it. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. And then, leading up to the fight about a week, ESPN, Michael Woods, called me up on the phone, and we did an interview.
Yeah.
And then, Stu, it blew open. Crazy. There was over 5,000 attendants at this event at the Fort McDowell Casino.
Yeah, wow.
And people that couldn't get in were standing outside the park lot, Stu, watching a drive-in movie theater, a big screen, a park lot. And I went in at a time, like I said, at the time Richard Stewart was fighting, he was fresh. And I stopped him and, pretty good fight, it was a good fight for me with no effort. I thank the good Lord I had a good win.
Yeah.
And I stopped him.
It was a third round knockout, I think, with Richard, wasn't it?
Pardon me?
You beat Richard on a third round knockout?
Third round, correct. And anyway, so we knocked him out, and I goes back to the room, and just thinking here, I can't believe this. And Burt Randolph Sugar called me, And he said, congratulations, now you're going to cause a lot of problems. I said, how do you mean, sir? You're going to get a lot of haters, and the boxing world is going to come against you.
Yeah.
And they don't want you doing this. And I'll tell you what, Stu, God rest his soul, was he ever right? Yeah. Stu, I fought the Attorney General, the government. You have no idea what we went through, sir, to get bare knuckle boxing, how hard I fought to get it going now. Now we've got 2 major states in America, which I cannot mention yet. It'll be revealed probably in the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
That stand behind us 100% to give the stamp of legitimacy and to give us full approval to promote and do regular bare knuckle boxing. And it's been enough to, believe me, the hardest fight I had, Stu, wasn't fighting. It's fighting politics, like hiring attorneys. People don't understand how hard I did this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How hard we pushed to do this. And what happened is that it's good that you see other people come up and do things and do this and that. But it isn't good when they try to tear down another person all the time.
Yeah, after all the hard work's been put in.
The truth is, like, in life, I can't change history. I can't change the times, too. I can't change an old saying that who's a part of our BKF team, Big Joe McEwen, Big Joe Mackey. He's one of the smartest I've ever met. He says, documentation beats conversation. And I can't help it that we was the first to do this, to make bare knuckle mainstream.
Yeah.
People get mad about it, but it was the truth. And I stuck my ground as a gentleman, Stu, and I wanted to take it to the mainstream level and thank the good Lord. All the hard work, all the blood, sweat, and all the team behind it, working hard, morning and night, attorneys, all the team members, investing a lot of money into this, making it to where it is today. We can utterly say now we are legitimized.
The Richard Stewart fight of August 2011, and 4 months later, you went on to defend your title against Ernest Jones, and you won in just under 9 minutes. The rest sort of thing, that's history now. How many title defences have you had since then, Bobby?
Well, since I fought Richard Stewart in the sanction fight, I've had around 8 or 9 bare knuckle fights.
Yeah.
Here's a problem I have, and I want to explain to a lot of people out there, and they say this and say that. It's hard for a former world boxing champion to still compete in boxing and have these bare knuckle fights because, I'll be honest with you, the underground fights are not right. They're not legal, you understand?
Yeah.
And nobody wants to get in trouble. And he's not fighting. What am I going to do? Sound like like an idiot? I just fought last night. I mean, just because I don't announce them all the time, the people don't say that, I'm only not having fights.
Yeah.
And, the only reason I fight, it makes money. If it don't make money, it don't make sense. If you look at my history, and I mean this, I don't call anybody out that doesn't start with me first.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. And I want to clear something real quick here. If you look at my video with James McCory, here's the deal. If all these people think so highly of these fighters, why don't they back these fighters up financially? And then they'll turn around and say, oh, that's too much money. Well, should these young men go get their head punched in for no money? Don't these young men have a family, have wives, have girlfriends, have wee kids to go back to?
Yeah.
Every time, Stu, you fight, you're putting your life on the line.
You are, most definitely.
And here's the mission. Everything that Bobby Gunn does is for the future of bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These fighters fight for nothing. They're always going to fight for nothing. Stu, think about this. In 1894, James J. Corbin and John O'Sullivan, they were fighting for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. That's over 100 years ago.
That's a huge amount of money sort of now, but even
back then. You know what I mean? Exactly, back then. And this is bare knuckle fights. These young men should not be. They shouldn't go in there and fight for peanuts and put their life on the line because it's not right for them, Stu. Because one punch can change a man the rest of his life.
Massively. I mean, when it comes to that sort of thing, I mean, my sort of way of thinking, it's all about sort of bringing home the bread for your family sort of thing. And I remember that night with the video with James, and I remember sort of James' reply. I'm good friends with James as well. I don't live far away from him.
He's a gentleman. I like James a lot. He's my friend.
Well, I remember him saying, if I had 50,000, I would put it in a trust fund for my kids and my nephews.
Here's what that was going to. It wasn't directed to James. It was directed to all the naysayers and the people that, oh, McCoy will destroy you. McCoy will this to you. Fight McCoy. Fight McCoy. Well, you know, here's the bottom line. Again, okay, I'll fight him.
Yep.
Instead of praying him up, back up your man. Stu, let me ask you a question. If I feel so good in you, and I'm challenged, I'm getting on people's pages, I'm telling them off, and I'm calling them names, and I tell them to fight you. You're the man. You're the man. Well, Stu, why don't I say, wait a minute, okay, how much does Stu need to fight? He needs 150 grand. Okay, let's get 12, 15 of us together. Put it up, a couple grand a piece. If we believe in you so much, Stu, we should do that, no problem. Yeah. The truth is, none of these people really believe in these boys. They just want to go on and talk to their ass. God forgive me for swearing.
Yeah.
And the truth is, here's how I look at it. All those guys that say the bad things and they challenges, if James McCoy was to ask them, would they give him a help or they need help, they wouldn't even return the message to him. So I come to the conclusion.
Not a trio of words being said, Bobby.
You know, I know what it is to be in the gutter. I mean this, pal. I'm telling you. Stu, I've come from nothing, sir.
Yeah.
I come from nothing. I had a hard life, Stu. And the Lord blessed me, and I fought all my life. I took abuse. People told me I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. And they abused me, and they abused me. And my mom died of cancer when I was only 19 years old. And I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
Social media creates a lot of people that don't have a heart, a lot of trolls out there. They went to the
really
point
does.
On boxing websites, too. You know, I've been fighting for titles, and, you know, anyway, there'll be comments. And people went to the point and was calling my poor dead mothers, too. Well, you know what I mean, my pal? So
that's disgusting.
Anymore, I look at it this way here. Talk is cheap. That is exactly the price tag on it. 0.
Yeah.
It means nothing. Until you can say it to a man's face, to his face, face to face, it means nothing. And that's how I go. People will say, oh, you got a lot of bad fans in the UK. No, when I'm in the UK, I love UK, and I love the people there. They treat me the best. They love me, and I love them. Yeah. It's only the deadbeats that got something to say on Facebook. And truthfully, Stu, if you was Mike Tyson or Manny Pacquiao, they would have something to say. It ain't just Bobby Gunn. You know what I mean, Stu? It's just they're always going to have something to say. So anymore, I pay no attention. I look past them. And a lot of these fighters coming up today, they're being influenced by these people. And this is what I feel sorry for them, because they're being led astray. They're not trying to fight their way up, earn their way up the right way.
Yeah.
Social media is creating clowns.
It's an evil thing.
Clown circus.
I mean, there's a phrase that we use in the UK. I don't know if you've got it over in the States, of a Facebook boxer. These people that they get a photograph with a pair of boxing gloves on. They've agreed to 25 fights. They've never showed up in a single one.
You know, Stu, here's the situation. All fighters are the same. Put them in a bag and shake them up. They're all the same. Forgetting the point of one thing. In the professional boxing world, when you turn pro, you're fighting 4-round fights.
Yeah.
Then you move up to a 6-round fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move up to an 8-round fight, and then you're a 10-round main event, and then your next stage is worse, too, to a world title 12-round fight.
Yeah.
A lot of these bare-knuckle fighters do. They have 1, 2, 3 fights, and they're talking like they're the heavyweight champ of the world.
Massively.
And, you know, and the truth is, my pal, there's a lot of good fighters. A lot of fighters over here, underground fighters in America.
Yeah.
They don't even open their mouth. Don't even say nothing.
Yeah.
They would beat a lot of these guys that are raving up and down, saying this, saying that. And the truth is, in order for you to get somewhere, you really got to prove yourself.
Exactly. And I think you need to do that with anything in life, but I think especially in the boxing world, in the bare knuckle world.
What it is, too, under the BKF, the Bare Knuckle Boxing Federation, is monitored by Scott Burke, who is the president of the International Bare Knuckle Boxing Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Who, mind you, was giving authority by who? Burt Randolph Sugar.
Yeah.
If you get no better, it's like the ultimate. It's like the Queen knighting you. Okay, I mean, in the fight world, that's what it's like. And in order to fight for the bare knuckle heavyweight title, a legitimate sanctioned fight, the opponent must be qualified by a ratings chairman or the organization, and ultimately to give, go ahead by Scott Burt, the president. And if he qualifies and the money's right and he qualifies, then the fight will be made. But right now we're in negotiations with two major big players in the sports combat world.
Yeah.
And I can't say their name yet, Stu, but like I said earlier, in the next few weeks there'll be a major announcement.
Yeah. Sounds fantastic. That's one of the questions I was going to ask you, actually, about Scott in the BKB Hall of Fame. Obviously, there's been a recent induction to the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame for yourself, and a sort of full sanction of your belt from the Bare Knuckle Hall of Fame. How does that feel?
Oh, it's an honor. I mean, it's going to be great, and plus my friend Mike Tyson is going to be there. I'll get to see Mike, and then the world famous, commentator and boxing historian Al Bernstein is going to be inducted too, and Mike Tyson will be standing in for the legendary Custom Auto. It's a great honor that we can rub apples and fight with some real good people. In life, it doesn't matter what people say or think, as long as they're decent and they're nice to you. It's only the dirty fool that has something mean to say, horrible to say. You know what I mean? And you understand, a lot of times you read the internet. I have a social media, team. Yeah. And I got Doug, for MMA Fight News, who's got like 1 million followers, and one of the biggest MMA guys in Twitter.
I've been talking to Doug quite a lot today. Nice guy.
Oh, he's a good guy. I mean, he's a top guy. And then and Chris Sella, he does a lot of PR work. And they understand, like, a lot of times, if anything, a lot of things that's said and done isn't me saying that.
Yeah.
You understand? I have a professional team, and naturally they have to defend me. They have to stand up for me. It's like anything. You know what I mean? But me, how I look at it is that if you got something to say to me, say it to my face. You know what I mean? It's like, there's a few fellows that had a lot to say about me, and when they saw me to my face, they were nice as could be. So I can't take people like that serious.
Yeah. I mean, sort of some of the things that we're talking about there, it's, some of the people are quite sort of new to the fight game, maybe haven't proved themselves enough. I was going to ask you about how you felt about the recent call out by Dickie Heggie.
Well, Dickie Heggie, he came over here to America, and he fought a guy. The first guy was a last-minute replacement, and then he fought he fought Richard Stewart, who hadn't fought in 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a fact. The man never fought. And he never knocked the man out. The man quit from exhaustion, fat and out of shape. And I didn't really think a whole lot of him. And I thought Stephen Miller had done the business with him. I thought Stephen won a decision, unanimous. I truly did. That was me. That's just my opinion. See, that don't mean nothing. That's just me saying I watched it on the YouTube. But here's the story, Stu. And this is what people understand. Stephen Miller is a friend of mine. He's a class act. And I want to explain what people don't understand behind the scenes. Stephen Miller one night was in Phil the Best. I love him, and he said a few things on Twitter.
Yep.
And my team retaliated, but that fire was put out quick because why, Stu? We are friends and we respect each other. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I respect him. He's my friend. And Stephen's a class act, and he knows he's built himself up. He's trying to make a name. He's got a long way to go, and he's doing good. Now, let's go back to Dickie Heggie. Dickie Heggie called my phone. He reached out to my boy, which I have the message saved, and he reached out and he said, I think that's terrible. Stephen Miller calling you out. We're just guys trying to build ourselves up. I'm not really a good fighter. I have no boxing experience, but I just want to fight. But I know we got a long way to go. I said, well, what can you do? I said, it'll work itself out. And then he asked me if he could borrow some money off me. And I said, to be honest with you, pal, I got a family, and I'm trying the best I can do.
Yeah.
And then he asked me if I could get a sponsorship to bring him to America. Now, you have to understand something. I'm friends with Joe Brown.
Yeah.
Ultimately, okay? And Joe Brown had a major fight set up for him, and he did not show up. He chose not to go to it.
Yeah.
So therefore, you have to have a little loyalty. You understand? And I didn't sit well with him. I said, listen, Decca, I'm friends with Joe Brown. I wish you the best luck to you.
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks go by, and then he puts a bunch of garbage. The garbage that he put up wasn't the same man that talking to me on the phone, Stu.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to myself? So at the end of the day, he could talk all he wants, and he could say all that he wants.
Yeah.
I forgive, but I won't forget. There will come a time in life where you bump into each other. So when he sees me face to face, I'll see what's on his mind. But until then, I don't put any weight in people like that because I can't take them serious because all they're doing is grasping for straws, trying to make a name for themselves, trying to be the man, but they really can't beat the man, and they want to pretend they can, and they want to get sponsorships. That boy, Stu, all he does, my pal, he asks for people for money on that internet, sponsorships.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that ain't right, Stu. I mean, Joe was awful good to him, awful decent to him. Joe did a lot of things for him, Stu.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. You know, Joe's a decent man. You know, he did a lot of things for that boy. And between me and you, like I said, okay, when these guys were not even thinking about fighting, I was fighting world championship fights.
Yeah.
Okay? How could these guys even think they could compete with top guys in the world when they're having struggles?
Yeah.
And I think one of the best kept secrets in bare knuckle boxing in the UK is a fighter by the name of J1. And why I tell you this, Vicky Hagee had a death struggle with an older gentleman called Bulldog, I believe.
That's right, yeah. Tony Goward, the Leicester Bulldog.
And believe it or not, that was a death struggle. I think it could have went either way to the end. And J1 fought the same person and dismantled him. And the truth is, now, I'm going to tell you something nobody knows, but Big Miller's hand was hurt very bad going to that fight. A lot of people don't know that. Big Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
And when he fought Hagee. And if he wasn't for the hand being hurt, I believe Miller could have pushed more hard behind the shots and stopped him.
Yeah.
But where's he going? I wish him the best. I really don't have a whole lot to say about him anymore. I just said, how can you take anybody serious when they go on like that?
Yeah. I would agree.
How can you be a legend, Stu? Stu, how can you be a legend with 2 or 3 fights?
To have that sort of status, it's something that needs to be earned over a period of a lot of years, and I think it's something that needs to be stored on you by other people.
And you see, bare knuckle boxing, Stu, to me, it means bare knuckle boxing. It means bare fist fighting. It doesn't mean hand wraps.
Yeah.
And the truth is, don't go by Bobby Gunn, what Bobby Gunn saying. Did John L. Sullivan wear hand wraps? No.
Yeah.
Did these historic fighters wear hand wraps? No. Now, yes, there's some traveler fights, traveler feuds. They fight, and they wear hand wraps, but them fights are more like for family, name, and prestige and title, and King of the Traveler titles. Them fights are not sanctioned and legitimized by a boxing commission.
That's right.
And when you take bare knuckle boxing, that's exactly what it means. Stu, let me ask you a question. Hey, Stu, let's go play hockey today. Okay, Bobby. And we go outside. Oh, Bobby, where's your skates and your hockey stick? Oh, I don't got it. Well, I'm not really playing hockey then, am I, Stu?
Very, very true. Very true.
But see, I'm not being mean. I'm just talking the truth, the gospel truth. If I'm fighting someone and my hands are wrapped like a boxing glove or an MMA glove, well, it's not bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
It takes away the purpose. It means you can throw harder, bang harder, player. Every shot counts. Body work. It's an artwork. Bang, bang, bang. Uppercut. You don't go above 2 inches above the eyebrows. You can break your hand.
Yeah.
You don't go below the bottom lip because you can cut your hand on the bottom lip.
Yeah.
It's every shot is precision.
Mm.
And when these guys wear these wraps, they're throwing wild. And this is something that a lot of these guys don't understand.
Yeah.
The Bare Knuckle Boxing Federation, BKF, is for athlete fighters, not barroom brawlers that have a, I mean, let's be honest, I'm not being mean here. Barroom brawlers, their main thing in life is have a few pints, throw a few darts, and challenge Mike Tyson on the internet. Them guys, to me, mean nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've certainly met a lot of those.
An athlete, it's true, an athlete that trains hard for a fight, that knows what he's doing, that's somebody that will make a difference in a fight game.
Massively. Yeah, massively. At the minute, Bobby, obviously you're still current world champion, and you're saying there may be some defences coming along. I know that you were born in the same year as myself, 1973, making you 41 at the moment. Some people consider that to be a little old for a professional fighter. What would you say to this?
I would say for the professional fight deal, I mean, don't get me wrong, any more of the fighters fighting 35, I mean, 35 to 45, I would say to compete in the top level of professional boxing, 100% you're right. Yeah. But right now in bare knuckle boxing, I don't see any top world beaters out there. And I always had an upper hand on them because of my amateur experience and my professional and proper training. So you got to understand something. All the years fighting, I've been 6 years old training. Yeah. And you know, whenever I had them miracle fights, like all these big killers, they tell me, this guy, you're fighting a Russian over here, fighting a German over here. You know, all these big time killers, they don't last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And the truth is because they don't have the experience how to roll, slip, see a shot coming. And that's why I'm saying an athlete fighter is a different fighter than just a would-be tough guy.
Yeah, totally. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, obviously we're the same age. We still haven't even reached our prime yet. We're still very young, Bobby.
Well, I'll tell you what. I feel good for 2 more years, and then I promise my family I'm going to walk away.
Yeah.
And that's what I promise them. But I got to do it, Stu, also for the sport of bare knuckle boxing. It needs Bobby Gunn. I'm the poster boy right now. Bobby Gunn, all bare knuckle boxing. And what I'm doing, here's what I want to explain to all the fighters out there. Hear me out. Bobby Gunn isn't picking up the phone. He's not calling you names. Yeah. Bobby Gunn isn't doing this, doing that. Whatever Bobby Gunn does is to make it better for you in the future of bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
I am demanding and standing my firm for the bare knuckle boxing, the fighters to be paid very well. Now, I hate to say this, if you get the name of an early riser, you can sleep into dark, can't you, Stu? You know, let's be honest about it. If these fighters get the name, they'll fight for nothing and cheap. Well, then they're never going to get a payday, Stu.
You're right. It's going to be one after the other after the other.
And that's what it comes down to. So it's all about the fighters. It's about the fighters, the safety, competitiveness, being fair, no corruption like boxing. I took a stand on that. There'll be no corruption. There'll be best man wins. There'll be no, you know what I mean? Like over here, we decided there'll be no draws over here. Yeah. You know, if the fight's that close, we're going to add on an extra round to determine the fight for the judges. And
I think that's a good idea.
You know, it is. It is eliminate a lot of it. And also, you have to prove yourself and have a resume. Unfortunately, Stu, in the world we're living in today, anybody can make a Twitter account or a Facebook account, put on a tight T-shirt that says tap out, and put up a fake resume, call people names and say they're a fighter.
You're totally right.
This is the best part of it all. But Stu, this is the best part of it all, my child. Guess what? The people that does this, there's fools that interact with them. Okay?
Isn't it?
And support them. Okay? And this is what you're dealing with. So there's 2 fighters, too. Yeah. There's real fighters, and there's the Facebook fantasy fighters.
Yeah, most definitely. And there seems to be more and more of those Facebook fighters every day.
Stu, see, you people only hear in England, you see a few guys say this, saying that. But I've been getting this for 10 years over here in America. There's always a fool, Stu.
Yeah.
Stu, how many times have you went to a bar to watch a major fight, and I knocked him out one punch, I beat him, and if he was face to face to them, the piss would run down their leg.
I think I've been to a fight where somebody hasn't done that, because every fight I go to, there's always someone there. Oh, I knocked him out, but we did it in the gym.
There's always someone there, Stu.
Saw.
Someone saying
every
exactly,
time.
My friend. Somebody saying every time, Stu. You see, Stu, I've said it before one time. A fighter's resume and record, right, is measured by his past, the people that he fought, and his accomplishments recognized by other people, not self-praise. Our fantasy posts. A fighter's not recognized by his posts this week on Twitter. I'll fight you, I'll kill you. What does that mean, pal? That means nothing.
Exactly.
That means you're a fool. I would be don't get me wrong. Have I replied to things that people say? Yes, I have. I have a team to do things. But for me to sit down and tell you I would beat Mike Tyson, that's a fool. I wouldn't beat Mike Tyson, Stu.
Yeah.
A fool would say that. I would never do that, pal. I don't earn that right to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know right from wrong, but I know that I've killed myself, my body, to be where I'm at today. I fought top fighters of the world, fought legends, and I've had countless underground fights. The blood pouring out of my nose and taste of my own blood. Yes, I earned the right to be where I'm at today, and it's only the grace of God.
Yeah.
But I'm here to pave the road for all these fighters out there.
Yeah, massively.
But unfortunately, I see a lot of them, Stu, that ain't going to go anywhere because they're free Madonnas. They're full of themselves.
Yeah. I was going to ask you as well, Bobby, that it's leading into this question, that when you take a fight, you normally look for a purse in the region of $50,000. Is that just is that something more than just the money? Is that to make sure that they're actually serious contenders who can step up to the mark?
Well, guys, you're very smart. Yes. So let me explain to you what that means. And this is the truth, my friend, okay? I'm going to explain to you right now. Okay, me and you going to fight, Stu. Yep. Okay, Bobby going to fight. Okay, okay, Stu. We're going to fight 50,000 each man, okay? So what we're going to do, Stu, to make sure this fight comes true, it's called ticket money.
Yeah.
I got to put 10,000 into Dave Philbin, and you got to put 10,000, Stu.
Yep.
Okay, so now that you put your 10,000 in, you're definitely going to show up, right, Stu? That means you definitely have to show up, right? I think of it is, okay?
Yeah.
And now you're going to fight your ass off because you're not getting a guaranteed payday. You have to win.
Yeah.
Get your money.
Makes sense.
So that's what it does, my pal. If it didn't, Stu, I'm going to tell you why it didn't. I can't tell you how many times I wasted months of training for a fool that said he's going to fight and he never even showed up.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, it's something I was going to mention.
Think about it. There's what the Dick and Hagee did to Joe Brown. He never showed up.
Yeah.
I hate to say it in America. He left the man a bad taste in his mouth. So that's what I'm saying to you. You have to put out a little bit, Stu, to show your worth.
Yeah, massively. I mean, it's something I've always was going to mention to you. I would love to fight you, Bobby, but I'm worried that I hurt you. You know, so I'll let you off just this once.
Please let me off, pal. Stu, you're the only man I'm not going to fight. I give my title to you.
I'll take you up on that, Bobby. So, what's a typical day like being Bobby Gunn? I mean, I think it's correct to say that you train most days.
I train every day of my life.
Yep.
I don't take a day off, and I train my boy. My boy took a little time off. He's undefeated right now in 5 professional fights. He's
doing very well. You must be very proud.
Oh, he's training with the top fighters in the world over here, and he was actually supposed to fight in Madison Square Garden tomorrow night, but his opponent pulled out.
Yeah.
And Lou DiBella and a very good friend of mine, a fighter that fought Billy Joe Sanders. His name is Spike Sullivan. He's fighting in the main event there in the Garden. So we're going to go down and guest honor. We're going to have supper with Evander Holyfield, I believe, tomorrow night.
Oh, fantastic!
And we're always in the limelight over here. Like, you believe it or not, like people don't understand. Listen, we're all the same. I love the UK, I love England, and I love America. I love all my fans of the world. But because we live that pond actually makes a different world. And a lot of people in the UK don't realize how big the bare knuckle boxing scene is in America right now. How much is going on.
Yeah.
And how popular it is. And it's really steamrolling. But again, we're only about doing top bare knuckle fights in a decent family-oriented environment. You know, you can bring the children, the wife, you know, the young children, the women, and everybody can come and watch the fights.
Yeah.
We're not looking to have, you know, in other words, too, we're not doing barroom brawls. That's what I'm trying to say to you. We're doing this the right way.
And that's how I believe the sport should go. It really has. I think there's something else there. A lot of people sort of don't know about you, Bobby. Obviously, most people know that you fought in the pro game at cruiserweight, but I think a lot of people don't know just actually what you achieved. I mean, between 2006 and 2009, you did some amazing things.
I fought as a former world cruiserweight champion in 2006, and I fought the best fighters in the world. You know, Macarelli, Thomas Adamak, Glenn Johnson, James Toney, and I won the fight against a very tough bastard named Shannon the Sandman Lamberg, who was 58 pro fights, 9 losses for 26 knockouts. I fought him, and then I was involved in one of the most controversial fights. And Teddy Atlas said in the modern 20th century, he said, it was the first Shelby Gross fight. And then I come back, I knocked Gross out, and I won the WBC title.
Yeah.
And a lot of people understand, I've seen it all, Stu. I was a spar partner for 27 world champions.
Wow.
So, you know, I boxed Nigel Benn when I was young. When he come over to America.
Yeah.
When he fought Doug DeWitt in Atlantic City, I was there training and sparring with him. I know all these guys, and what I'm trying to say to you, okay, here's the bottom line, Stu. And I want this one, and you're a pretty smart boxing guy. You know your game. Let me ask you a question, Stu.
Yeah.
This is the truth. Can anybody go to the boxing gym, have maybe 10 amateur fights? Hear me out. Can those guys qualify to fight top contenders in the world and world champion fighters?
In my honest opinion, definitely not.
Okay, this is what's happening in the bare knuckle world.
Yeah.
That it's actually hurting the credibility of it.
Yeah.
Because here's why. Think of this, Stu. If everybody could be a world champion, it would be easy, right?
Exactly. I'd be world champion.
The truth is, it's not. It's not easy. You know what I mean, Stu? It's hard work. It's life discipline, dedication, sacrifice. You put your body through hell. And here's what happens. All these so-called hard men, calls themselves legends, what have they really had? Have they had 20 amateur fights, 4 or 5 miracle fights? How can they expect to really compete as top echelon fighters in the world? No. I don't make these rules, Stu. I just obey by them. You know what I mean? I know right from wrong. When I was young, my dad told me you got to fight your way through the amateurs, fight your way through the pros. You get there. And that's how it is. And a lot of these guys, they're challenging. Here's the bottom line, Stu. They're writing checks they can't cash.
Yeah.
They can't cash. And they're not proving themselves the right way.
I think you need to earn the rite of passage.
Say it again, I'm sorry, I lost you.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think they need to really sort of prove themselves and earn the rite of passage and go up level by level rather than having a couple of fights and wanting to go straight on the top.
That's it. They need to build themselves up the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good bare knuckle fighters out there in the world.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good ones, and they got a long way to go. And there's some top bare knuckle fighters out there in the world right now that are top elite level guys.
Yeah.
But again, you don't really hear the top guys going on like some of these fools do on the internet.
Yeah, you're right there.
You know what I mean? There's a boy over here called Danny Batchelor. He's a U.S. American champion.
I've spoken to Danny online a couple of times.
And Danny's had 40 professional fights, ranked in the top 10 of the world in 3 different weight divisions. And I've known Danny since the 90s.
Yeah.
And I've been in, I don't know, we probably fought together maybe 30 times in underground fights. I mean, you know, with each other, you know, not against each other, just know them.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying to you, you'll never see him go on like calling himself a legend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This and that. Because what it is, Stu, when you're around the real guys in the world, you know what I mean? Like, I know Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach trained me when I was young. He's my friend.
Yeah.
I know Marvin Hagler. I know Sugar Ray Leonard. I know all these guys. these guys would look at these guys that go on like fools. Exactly what I said, fools.
I don't know if you know much about, there's a fighter in the UK at the moment. About 3 weeks ago, he won the B-Badge UK heavyweight title, Michael Ferry.
He's a good prospect.
Yeah.
And think the world of him. The only thing is, we can't recognize it as a bare knuckle fight because he had hand wraps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's us again. That's us, Stu. That's not them. You know what I mean? Each their own. You know, there's no, but see, again, Stu, it's called BKB for a reason. It isn't bandage knuckle boxing.
Yeah,
it's bare knuckle boxing.
That's it.
And you know what I mean? That's it. And that's how I look at it. But yeah, there's some good prospects. A lot of those guys look like they had a few amateur fights and maybe fight a little white collar boxing.
Yep.
But you know, the bare knuckle, the real bare knuckle, it's a little bit different game, Stu.
Yeah, the point I was going to make about Michael, again, he comes from the same town as me. I've done a couple of interviews with him, video interviews and radio interviews. He doesn't even have a Facebook account. He puts himself into training and he keeps away from all of that side of it. He doesn't. I hear he's a lovely young boy to talk to. I hear great things about him. I hear he's a gentleman now. Yeah, he doesn't go in for all of this. He keeps completely off Facebook, and I mean. In the UK sort of scene, he hasn't even really been tested at the moment. But the thing I like, he keeps away from all of that side of thing, all the slagging, all the calling names.
I stay away. Stu, you wouldn't believe the silliness I've had. I've had death threats, pal. People threaten my family, like this silliness of that. I have a stalker over here in Ohio by the name of Rufus. I don't know his last name.
We've talked about him in the past online.
It's terrible. Exactly.
It's scary.
Yes. Okay. And I thank the good Lord, my attorney is in contact with the prosecutor and Deputy Brinder, and we're pursuing the fresh charges. I mean, every week he buries himself. Like last week, he said, "I'm never going away." He says, "I'm never going away.
Yeah.
I'll hurt you." I mean, you shouldn't have to do that, Stu, in this day and age. That's insanity, pal. You know what I mean? And
it's crazy.
Anyway, the good Lord, my attorney's taking care of it. But what it is, Stu, when you put yourself in the limelight, you draw a lot of fools, and for some reason, I'm like a magnet for it.
You could be right there. You do certainly seem to attract sort of more than your fair attention and flack for some reason. I'm they say Ken Shamrock's the most dangerous man. I'm the world's most challenged man. I get challenged all the time. Yeah. Well, I spoke to Ken Shamrock about 6 weeks ago for an interview, and I was speaking to him again on Tuesday. So I'll ask him about that. Ken's a good guy. He's a class act, and he's an athlete. A lot of people realize he had a lot of bare knuckle fights growing up. People just say this is something new to him because he does MMA and he's an athlete. I was talking to him, and he's really looking forward to fighting BKF and doing big things at BKF. He's a class act, and I wish him all the luck in the world. He really is a nice man. Yeah, he is. He's a gentleman. I mean, after we'd recorded the interview, we sat just chatting for quite a while, and he's a nice man. And I'm interviewing him again on Tuesday coming. I believe in the UK scene, you're going to see like J1 and Joe Strickland. Them guys are going to make a big difference in the UK. Yeah. And once they take their hand wraps off, it'll be home stretch. You know what I mean? It'll be like they'll be really knocking walls down. And I think it's going to be great. You got. At the end of the day, whatever business you're into, you got to be a decent person, right? And Joe is a decent person. He's going to look out for the guys and do right by them. He puts everybody first before himself. He's a good guy. Yeah, he does do that. He's. I was having an interview with one of Joe's fighters, Scott Midgley. It was on last week's show. Well, this week's show that's just gone out. Yeah. What he was saying about Joe is he's the kind of man he'll always keep his promise, even if it leaves him out of pocket. Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? I would say this to to a lot of people in closing. I would say this that if you want to be a bare knuckle fighter, go prove yourself. Don't knock people down that's above you and higher you, because all that makes you look like a fool. Yeah. You know what I mean? Documentation beats conversation. Build yourself up, fight the right way, but don't go into bare knuckle fighting if you don't have any actual fighting experience. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you
more. One
more.
day you're going to meet a guy that knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
and
it's going to hurt.
And that's the truth. Like my old dad always taught me, unless you have these fights and kill yourself and have all these fights, when you do fight a guy that can fight, it's going to show the difference. And to compete with these guys, you have to have a good pedigree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Stu? And a pedigree means a background.
Definitely.
And unfortunately, you get some of these guys that maybe had 1 or 2 street fights and maybe 1 or 2 amateur fights, and they want to go to the bare knuckle world, and I don't think it's the best place for them.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think it's a sport for real pure fighters.
I think it takes something special to go into bare knuckle, most definitely.
It does. You know what I mean? Stu, it's always been good to me. I wish I could fight with the gloves like I do bare knuckle. I just feel so much safer at home with bare knuckle because, Stu, the thought of controversy and corruption is not in the bare knuckle world. People don't understand the underground world is more fair and nicer people than me fighting in a world stage in front of 50,000 people.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot more honourable people there as well, I bet.
Absolutely. It's a nicer environment.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to ask you, something I've always wondered, Bobby, when I've watched a lot of your fights on YouTube and things like that, you're really well known for fighting in jeans and cowboy boots. Do you feel that type of dress restricts you in a fight at all, or?
Oh, no, I understand. In the underground fights, that's my trademark. The blue jeans and a black tank top.
Yeah.
And the reason why, 1 second, so I'm just actually, my wife will be in a few minutes. Go ahead of me. Here's why I done that, Stu. An underground fight is not a safe environment. What I mean by that, at any moment it could be raided, correct? It could be interrupted.
And if you're running around in boxing shorts, you're going to get caught very quickly.
Exactly. So the reason why I fought with tank top and jeans, God forbid people did raid it and come in. Well, my trainer slips on my coat, and I look like everybody else there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why that was my trademark. There was a reason why. That's why I done it. And I, but I mean, I'll tell you what, brother. I've seen some great underground fights over here in America, and and people understand, like, it's a rich environment over here.
Yeah.
It's the same. Stu, America isn't better than Europe, England, UK. And UK isn't better. It's all the same. We all put our pants on the same every morning.
Yeah,
each one of us have a different culture change, but we basically do the same thing.
Exactly.
Okay, and neither one of us can claim we're the best. We're the best bare knuckle. No, it's all the same. Just as much as BKB is in Europe, it's over here too, and it's been here for hundreds of years.
Yeah. Well, that's been great. The final question I've got for you, Bobby. Looking at anyone, either past or present, living or dead, who would you most like to fight against if he was in the prime? So, what would your dream fight? If anyone in the world.
Who would I like to fight the most? Is that you're asking who I want to fight right now?
No, who would you like to fight the most? No matter whether they're past or present, living or dead. If you could have fought them in their prime, who would you most like to fight?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Kimberly Slice, I will take him to deep water, and I will show him stuff he's never seen before in his life.
Yeah.
And I will bust him, and I'll. He's a big old ugly man with a big old beard on. The fleas to jump off that beard. You know what I mean? So I like to get him. I like to get him and smash him. Take him to school, and I'm going to show him the bull and the manticore. How he never even comprehend the pain that I can take him. And the guys that he fought. We're just regular guys. He's never fought a top echelon guy. When he does, he gets beat.
Yeah.
So Kimberly Slice, between me and you, has got the best name in bare knuckle boxing because of the marketability on his name. He's got a lightning rod for attention. So there's two things there. It does great for the sport to make it mainstream.
Yeah.
But it also opens the world up to people to get more attracted to it and get into it.
It does. How do you think Kimbo Slice will get on fighting Ken Shamrock?
I believe Shamrock will take him to the ground and tap him out.
Yeah.
It's an MMA fight, right? It's not stand up. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how I think of that. I spoke to a very intelligent person, and he told me that they're looking, me and Kimball, we want to make the fight happen, and it's a bare-knuckle super fight.
Yeah.
And we're talking right now to the attorneys and the team to make it happen. That's the fight I want. It's not just a fantasy fight. It's a reality fight for me.
Yeah.
And that's the fight I want. And there's names out there. I mean, there's some good names, but there's a lot of good names coming to bare-knuckle boxing right now that I can't believe right now, but there's former world boxing champions that are coming in. And this is, again, bare-knuckle boxing is a different art than regular glove boxing. It'll be interesting to see how they mentally can toughen up to the bare fist combat, to see how we do it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of intelligence in it, in bare knuckle boxing as well. And a lot of, it's more of an, like you said, it's more of an art form.
You're a chess player. In boxing, you're a checkers player. That's the bottom line. I'm not being mean. Checkers, you're sense. More bolder. You're more bolder, the games are faster. In boxing, your hands are wrapped up for hand wraps, you got gloves on, you punch faster, and the fight, bare knuckle is like chess. You take your time, pick your shots, you choose your move the right way.
Yeah.
Checkmate, and then boom, your fight's over.
Well, that was excellent. Thank you so much for being on the show, Bobby. It's been great to speak to you.
Thank you, my pal. I really want to thank you so much, and I also want to say, again, to people that don't understand it, when I'm back home in the UK, I love everybody there. They treat me so fine. And all my mother's people come from Ireland, and my father's people come from Scotland. All my ancestors are UK descended, like from Europe, Europe descended.
Yeah.
And I fight for you all. I'm not just representing one country. I'm representing the world, American boxing, and I fight for you all. And I want the sport to be a recognized, respectful sport. I don't want it to be like, again, Stu, here's the bottom line.
Yeah.
If everybody can do it, then that means it's not that hard to do it, correct, Stu?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So not anybody can be a bare-knuckle fighter.
Yeah.
Not anybody. Not every tough guy, would-be bum brawler, street bum can be a chess player.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. And unfortunately, this is what the only thing that I'm doing, because of my great team we have behind us. We have a great team, and board members and people involved. They're making it hard, and also, you understand, we have strict medicals too. The fighters have to take head tests because, unfortunately, I've seen in the past where literally people challenge people from the crowd to come out and fight the fighters in their pit. That's like a circus, something you see in 1930s. I mean, there's nothing, So what I'm saying to you, this has to be done on a legitimate level, the same as professional boxing. You have to build yourself up, fight to the rounds, 4-rounder, 6-rounder, 8-rounder, 10-round main event fighter.
Yeah.
You have to build yourself up, and you have to go through medicals. You have to make sure you're healthy enough to fight, make sure you're competitive, because no way, shape, or form we at BKF want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah. I think that's definitely the way.
At the end of the day, Stu, it's ultimately, it's for the fighters. It's for the fighters to make money. People forget. You can say all you want. You can run anybody down you want.
Yeah.
Each one of these men competing have a little family at home.
Exactly. And that's what's most important in life.
That's it, my pal. And how do we want to send them home to their family? You know what I mean, Stu?
Yeah.
No money, beat to death, or do you want to make sure that of them they're getting paid very good? And that's how it goes, Stu.
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, that's fantastic. Again, thank you very much. You can follow Bobby Gunn on Twitter at RealBobbyGunn. And to find out more about Bobby, I'll post some links to my website, which is StuArmstrong.com. And don't forget to join me every Wednesday at 9 p.m. for the Stu Armstrong interviews, bringing you the biggest and best in combat sports, each week exclusive to Radio Northumberland. Listen free, online and worldwide at RadioNorthumberland.com.